better so it didn't keep cutting out.
Very
And there it
nice.
is. Now we're there.
Look at you all fancied up. My old friend Chaz McGregor with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg.
And we're fancy, back being fancy again. Yeah,
Check out the threads, Home Slice.
I like it. It's very fancy. It's
And
very
it's a
fancy.
and it's a collector's item now.
It is a collector's item because that was made through Hot Topics, and Hot Topics is no longer carrying that. The greatest part about that shirt, first of all, I love that shirt. Out of the two new shirts that WWE had made for us, that's my favorite over the other one. But all the years I was in WWE, Hot Topics never carried a shirt of ours. Now we get the Legends deal, and boom, now we get a shirt at Hot Topic.
See, that's because you're officially a contracted, recognized legend.
Listen,
They had to wait and see if you were gonna make it.
Is that what it was? I mean,
Yeah.
I bought all my stuff from there. That's where I would go and buy my T-shirts. That's where I buy the chains and necklaces you wore. I bought it all from Hot Topics. They never made a shirt of us.
That's why it's so.
Now I've been wearing the same chain for 15 years. They finally make a shirt, and I haven't bought anything.
It's so funny to me whenever I see or hear people in the locker room with the cliche like, "Oh, these kids today in the business think that they can just go get their gear from Hot Topic and be a professional wrestler." And every time I hear it, I'm like, I know a pretty successful person that did that.
Well, you know what's funny about that? That actually reminds me of something you saying that. So when D'Lo and I started tagging together, I told you the story how it was just thrown out there. All of a sudden, we showed up at TV and it was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So we're old school of if you're a tag team, you should match.
Yeah.
And so the only thing we both had that were matching were those Nike basketball pants because we wore them to the gym with the snaps down the side.
Wait, same color?
Same color. We both had black ones. So that's what we wore. Like the first time we tagged together against the Mean Street Posse, that's what we wore. And then like we both had multiple pairs of different colors. So until we figured something out, we'd be like, oh, so what color do you have? And all right, let's just bring them. And that's what we wore. I don't remember who it was, but someone said to us, you guys need, because after like 3 or 4 weeks of TV, someone said to us, you got to get new outfits. And we were like, why? What's wrong with these? Like, they're comfortable. And we did have to get them sewn down the side because the snaps were coming off. And if the snaps came off, then we would have been naked. Which there was a naked median. So, I mean, what's the difference? But so, no, it was said to us, you look like you've walked out of a Nike store. And we're like, well, what about the Hardys? They look like they walked right out of Hot Topic. Like,
yeah.
What's the difference? Who cares? Like, why was it okay? Like, our headbanger outfits look like I walked out of a thrift store because I did. I walked out of a thrift store with all of it except for the shirts that I went to Hot Topic to buy. Yeah. So
Chaz, do you think that's just a matter of if you're over as hell, do what you want?
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you're over, you can do whatever you want. So, I mean, it could play into it. I mean, D'Lo and I were over separate, but together, I guess we weren't yet. I don't know. Unless it's just someone just wants to bust her balls. I mean, if it was me by myself, I would have definitely 100% said it was Jim Ross. But Jim Ross liked D'Lo, so because he played football in college.
Wait, I didn't know you had heat with JR.
Didn't have heat. There was no heat. It was just he had his favorites, and it was clear. It was clear who his favorites were. His favorites were anyone who played football in college. JR is he was a big college guy when it came to football. So that's, those were his favorites. And then when it came to dealing with him, there wasn't much because we dealt with Bruce. So, Bruce.
Did you and Bruce get along?
Oh yeah, we got along. We got along way too well.
Oh boy,
I love Bruce. Yes, no, it was like just different conversations. Like there was a different, what do you call it? Relationship with Bruce. Like I felt with Bruce, I could be, and I actually wrote about this in the book. When I found out I wasn't getting re-signed, I had this conversation with JR, and he was very smug and had like kind of an attitude about it. And then I was able to go and talk to Bruce about it. But with Bruce, I was able to just open up more and be, I guess, a little more vulnerable with Bruce than I was with JR. Because JR was just like, well, I don't know what to fucking tell you, Chaz. You got to figure something out with creative. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So that was more the attitude, at least towards me. My perception, at least towards me, that's how I felt. But Bruce was more like, all right, hey, let's figure it out. Let's talk about it. Like, you got to send ideas in, and, let's talk about, the different things you could possibly do. Like, it was just, the relationship was different. And then when we first signed, it was Cornette who took us to Bruce. So I think Bruce was kind of just like, I don't know, I wouldn't say he was assigned to us, but that's who we dealt with when we got our first part-time contract. And then, when we got our first full-time deal, it was Bruce who came to us. When Glenn got hurt and they gave us our next deal and it was a guaranteed contract, it was Bruce who went over it with us. So Bruce was just more my guy in talent relations than JR was.
Oh. And Chaz, is that what it came down to when you left there in '02? Is it literally, well, there might be more to it, but is it mostly the dreaded we've got nothing for you creative wise?
So here's what happened. So they sent D'Lo, Pete Gas, and I to Puerto Rico all together.
Mm-hmm.
And I begged them not to send me to Puerto Rico. I'm like, please let me go to OVW where Cornette was. That's where I wanted to go because I knew out of everybody, I don't want to say Savio and I just saw Savio a couple weeks ago, and it was great seeing him. But every chance Savio had to try and get the tag belts off of us, he did. He would go into the office and be like, oh, we did a house show and I had an allergic reaction to something and I had to go to the hospital and I was on a Benadryl drip all afternoon at the hospital. I got to the house show and I literally staggered down to the ring and leaned over the top rope like this. I didn't get in the ring at all. And Savio went to the agents, I think it was Lanza, and was like, hey, look, Chaz can't even perform tonight. Like, we should go in there and just beat Glenn up and take the belts. And then tomorrow night, we should win the belts. And then tomorrow night, we drop them back to them. And he looks at it, he goes, Lanza was like, how about you just go out there and do what you're supposed to? Like it was like that. But I mean, we got along, but I wasn't a fan of Puerto Rico because I was there before. And I don't know, I just didn't want to go to Puerto Rico. But they were trying to set Puerto Rico up as another territory like OVW was. It's like a farm system. So that's how it was pitched to us. So D'Lo and I were like, okay, we'll go. Pete was going. So fine. So we go down there, and I was told specifically going to Puerto Rico, go and create whoever Chaz is. Just whoever Chaz is, go to Puerto Rico and figure it out and get back in shape so we can bring you back on TV. That was the end goal. So I was like, okay, fine. Again, talked about it before. I never knew who Chaz was. Chaz was
wait, hold on. They said get back in shape?
Well, ring shape.
Oh, okay.
Ring shape. So yeah, we get back in ring shape because there's two different things from being in shape.
Oh yeah.
So again, the only thing Chaz ever was this kid from New Jersey who's allegedly beat up his girlfriend after the beaver cleavage thing died. So it was like, who was he? So I went down there and I tried doing that, but knowing if I went to OVW with Cornette would have helped me figure that out, or at least Cornette would have given me the advice of what to try to do. So long story short, I went down there and I don't know if I created somebody or not. Like I let my hair grow out. I put sun in it. So I had like nasty orange tips in it. And D'Lo and I tagged a little. Then I did a little by myself. Then they put Pete and I together. So I was basically tag teaming down there, trying to figure out who I was. And then Pete and I just formed this great friendship. And the greatest thing that came out of Puerto Rico for me was my friendship with Pete.
That's awesome.
Because I knew Pete before, but because we worked against him, but we never really hung out. And Pete and I still hang out right now. We go to micro wrestling all the time together. Love Pete. So anyway, went down there and I thought I created something, not really sure. But then I had to get out of Puerto Rico. So I saw they were doing a house show they were doing Monday Night Raw in Philly, right where I grew up. So I reached out to JR and I'm like, hey, can I come up and, do the house show and, figure this thing out? And he was like, yeah, fine, come home. So I went home and it was great. I had, a few days at home and then I went there and I went out to do the match and I'll never forget it. Shane McMahon was standing up there and because, I had let my hair grow out. So it felt great to be back in the locker room, but a lot of the boys were like double taking me, like, holy shit, like you've changed so much. And when I came back from Puerto Rico, I was jacked. I was gassed to the gills. I was shredded. I was like 250, 255,
God damn.
probably 12% body fat. I mean, that's all I had did down there. What was work out and take roids and somas and smoke weed and pass out. But that's that's the whole thing down there. But anyway, I went up and I had to do a dark match. And Shane said to me, he goes, listen, you look great. He goes, go out there and show us who Chaz is. Just go out there and show me what I already know. And I'm like, perfect. So I don't remember who it was I was working, but it was someone on the indies that I had known for a while. So I'm like, great, I'm going to be able to go out there and have a good match. Went out there like second spot in. I go to pick him up and he's like, I blew my back.
What?
I'm like, you did what? He goes, I'm going to try. And I'm like, motherfucker, you better try. Like this is, it was almost a tryout all over for me again. I'm like, let's go. And so picked him up and he went to do something. He's like, I can't. He goes, we got to go home. So I was like, so I literally picked him up on my back and I did my finisher on him and I dumped him. 1, 2, 3. The match went like 3 minutes.
Oh.
And I get in the back and Shane's standing there and Shane goes, what just happened? And I said, he hurt his back. And he goes, what do you mean he hurt his back? I go, he said he hurt his back. I don't know. He said he couldn't go. We had to go home. And Shane goes, that's a shame. And I'm like, I know. I go, well, tomorrow's Baltimore. I'm going to be in Baltimore also for TV taping. I go, maybe I get to do it again. He's like, maybe, we'll see. And he walked away. And I was like, shit. So, finish the night. Like I'm hanging out with everybody and talking and then go home. And it was like, Baltimore is like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, but it felt like it was like 8 hours trying to get down. Because it was just, I was like in my head of, what's going to go on, like what's going to happen, what am I walking into? So I get there and they put the run sheet up and I'm not on it. No dark match, no nothing. So I'm like, all right. So I walked into JR's office and I said, last night was, he got hurt. He's like, yeah, I understand. And I said, well, like, you're not letting me go out there and do something tonight. Like, why? He looks right at me. He goes, Chaz, he goes, you're in great shape. He goes, we know you can work. We don't need to see you work. He goes, you're in great shape. We know you can work. He goes, but creative doesn't know who you are. And I went, what? He goes, creative doesn't know who Chaz is. And I looked at him and I said, that's why you sent me to Puerto Rico. Like, can I do like interview? He goes, creative doesn't know what to do with you. He goes, so, this was September of 2001. My contract was expiring in January of 2002. He goes, so if creative can't come up with anything for you between now and January, he goes, you're not being re-signed. And I said, JR, I go, it's kind of messed up. And he goes, what's messed up about it? I go, well, I said, let me be Mosh. Everyone knows who Mosh is. I go, yes. I know who Mosh is. He goes, you had a chance in Puerto Rico to recreate Mosh and you chose not to do it. And I go, whoa, chose not to do it? You told me to go down there and recreate Chaz. He goes, yeah, but what I meant by that was go recreate whoever you are. Well, fuck, asshole. That's not what you said to me. You said create Chaz, figure out who Chaz is. Like, I could have easily went down there and evolved or redone Mosh because I know who Mosh is. Mosh is Mosh. And I said, well, why can't I go back to just being Mosh then? Like, it makes perfect sense. And he goes, yeah. Well, he goes, listen, he goes, I'm not going to have this back and forth with you. He goes, go to creative. If creative can figure something out for you, great. If not, then best of luck.
Wow.
And I went, okay. And like, it was like a harsh, smug conversation. And then when I got out to the hallway, it was like a totally different conversation with Bruce. Bruce was more like, hey, let's figure it out. Like, come up with ideas, and just ended up not working out because I did give them ideas. I would watch them unfold on TV with other people doing that, which was kind of messed up. But yeah, so it was just a different relationship, I guess, with JR I had than with Bruce.
Have you, Chaz, and I didn't mean to go off on a wrestling tangent. This is just, besides this and your time with Tiger Ali Singh, those are like the two things you and I have never really talked about.
So
But
Tiger Ali Singh was the worst gimmick I've ever done.
oh,
When people pull pictures out of that, I hesitate to sign them. Like I used to hesitate to do the beaver cleavage thing because it was just part of the act. It was fun to do. But even if you ask D'Lo, it's one of the worst things having to because it was not pitched to us that way at first. It was pitched to us as, hey, we have Tiger. He's a good speaker. We need to do something with him. You guys are trying to take off. He can be your mouthpiece. Blah 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 blah. That was kind of how it was pitched to us. And in our minds, we were like, all right, Tiger is getting paid. Vince wants to try and get something out of him. Perfect. And then all of a sudden, the next week at TV, Tiger shows up with turbans, and we were like, whoa, what are those? That's not what we agreed to. And they're like, no, because the thing that D'Lo and I were trying to get across was we were just two guys that were kind of forgotten, and we were kind of acting like the old school disgruntled employees. We want to, we're going to prove to everyone that we can do it because everyone told us we can't do it. That whole thing. So we could still go that route with Tiger, but then when they pulled the turbans out, and then they got us these outfits made that we look like something straight out of a genie bottle.
yeah.
And then the worst part was they wanted us to work with the turbans on, so they had chin straps put in on them.
What?
Yes, they had chin straps on them. Yes, it was awful.
Oh my God! So it was legit a Halloween costume then.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then Tiger finally got the other ones made. I think D'Lo's was green and mine was orange. They were like the long robes that were draped.
Oh,
those were at least decent. And I took the top off because I was like, I worked out hard. I'm in great shape. I want to show off my boobies.
yeah.
But and then we were in this mini feud with the Dudleys, and we had to do we had a title match against the Dudleys, but it was a handicap title match. So it was Tiger, D'Lo, and myself versus the Dudleys. And Bubba clotheslines Tiger over the top rope. Tiger, you can see in the video, like his head when he goes over gets caught under the rope, and he like whiplashes himself a little, and he goes down. Like 3 days after TV, because this was being taped for Sunday Night Heat. So this was on a Tuesday, and it was airing on Sunday Night Heat, which actually was the Super Bowl in January, whatever year that 01, I guess it was.
01, yeah.
So we got a call a couple of days later. Hey, give you guys a couple of weeks. Tiger got hurt. He can't make TV. So we're gonna give you guys some time off. And D'Lo, I remember, like, no, like we got momentum going right now. Like, and part of the gimmick was Tiger would start to speak when we walked out onto the ramp, and everybody would boo the shit out of him. So he would stop, and then he handed me the microphone, and I would say, hey, listen, our brother will not speak to you because you're being disrespectful until you give him the respect he deserves. That's when he'll talk to you. And we went that whole route, and then D'Lo would say something similar as we were walking down the ring. So I said to him, I go, this is perfect. This is even actually better than him being here, because now it's not a whole he'll speak to you when you give him respect. He's not even going to show up at the building anymore because you're giving him no respect. Because,
I like that.
Because up to then, you gotta. If you really think back, there was vignettes that were shot where we weren't even allowed in the building. They were like, "Oh, sorry, you guys aren't on our list. You're not allowed in." They would lock the door in our face. And then there was another one when D'Lo and I were supposed to be in the Royal Rumble, and then Vince booted us out and put Drew Carey in the Royal Rumble instead.
Wow.
So we were building up to the whole disrespect thing, which is why he kept going out, and then he wouldn't speak anymore. But I was like, be even better if he's not here, because in my mind, he's not there, so D'Lo and I can grow together. But now we can try and shed this turban thing off of us, and go off and evolve and recreate ourselves as something different. But they were like, no, it's fine. So we were the only team that I know of in the history of wrestling that were taken off TV because our manager got hurt.
And you guys could have benefited off his heat with him not being there too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, it would have grown even more by saying, you people, he's not here and it's all your fault. Yeah, it could have grown and really taken off. But yeah.
Hey, speaking of the Rumble, because I can't believe people bring pictures of the turban gimmick for you to sign.
It's
That's
awful.
wild.
It's awful.
It,
Yeah.
is it just people just being dipshits and being like trying to be ironic or cute or?
No, I think it's just people they find them and they get some. I think it's about having something different. Is what it is. Like I've even had people find the very first picture of me standing in the ring, my very first match against Adam Bomb, where it says Chaz Ware, and I'm kind of like this, staring at the lights like a boss. And they come up that and have me sign it, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Yeah.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want to get the best picture of the talent that exists signed. Why? Like, oh look, I found your baby pictures on Facebook. Can you sign these, please?
I found your Bill Garvin. If you bring if you bring our yearbook, I'm not signing it. I'm just signing it. Bill Garvin's on, the kid when I went to high school with. I'm not like if you find like something there, like why would you? I don't know. I guess it's something different. That's
But hey, speaking of the Rumble, when these people come up, do you get asked a lot, if ever, about that promo The Rock cut when he mentioned you for the Rumble?
No, which one's that?
Where I think it was Rumble 2000, and The Rock is like, "Oh, there's two people I gotta worry about in the Royal Rumble, and it's I forget who else he named, and Headbanger Mosh."
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even
what? It's so crazy, dude. That's one of those promos that I committed to memory.
Mm-mm.
Because now, obviously, in later years, like, oh, he was being funny, he was being ironic. But right. I remember when I was a kid, I was such a huge Headbangers fan. I'm like, yes, finally, he's recognizing the fact that he could get hit with a stage dive or something and get, like, screw you, Rock.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Chaz, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
That's easy. That was Macho Man.
What?
Macho Man.
How did I not know that?
I don't know. I told you the story about when I first met him.
Hold on. I have a pretty good memory. Despite having 17 concussions, I have a pretty good memory. I don't think I remember this.
Macho Man.
100%. Where did you met him in the Fed? Like at a show? Yeah,
my first. Dude, how could you never heard this story?
I
spoke about it. Yeah. So Glenn knew again. First match, I was 3 weeks in. And we're standing there. Glenn knew Macho Man was my favorite. So we're standing in the hallway by the locker room, and he's walking down the hall, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And Glenn's like nudging me, like, "Here he comes! Here he comes! Here he comes!" And all I'm thinking in my head was like, "Be cool, be cool, be cool." He got like 5 or 6 feet away from me, and Glenn pushed me into him, and I almost knocked him over. Yeah, I actually wrote in the book that thank God we had clothes on, because if not, I hit him so hard I probably would have impregnated him. Yeah, and then he knocked me right into him. And then when I turned around and looked at Glenn, like, what the fuck was that? Glenn had scooted around the corner, wasn't even there. So it was just him and it was Macho Man and I all by ourselves after I almost knocked him over. Thank God the wall was there, because if not, he would have went down.
Wow.
And then when I had my first match with Adam Bomb that same night, he comes walking by, and I was pacing by the monitor, right by gorilla position. And he was like, "You okay, kid?" He goes, "First time here, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Sorry about earlier." He's like, he goes, "People joking around." He goes, "No big deal." He goes, "You get used to it around here." And he goes, he goes, "You nervous?" I go, yeah, a little bit. He's like, "You'll be fine." I'm like, "All right, thanks." And as he walks away, he stops and he goes, "Hold on." He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "I have nothing going on right now. I'm going to stand right here and I'm going to watch." And I was like, No, don't do that. You don't know. It's okay. You don't have to do that. And he's like, No. He goes, "I want to watch." I went to the ring, did my thing with Adam Bomb, and I came back. He was standing right there at the monitor like he said he would be. He put his arm around me, walked down the hall, and he goes, "Kid," he goes, "first time," he goes, "that was great." He goes, "One day you're going to make a lot of money in this business." And he slapped me in the head and walked it down the hallway.
You have, for the record, you have never told me that story.
Oh, I've had to. I've told this story a million times. You
have never told me that. That is freaking amazing.
Yeah, and never met him again. Never saw him again. That was it. That was my one and only interaction was with Macho Man.
Holy cow, dude. That is wild.
Yeah.
Hey, even getting shoved face first into him by asshole Glenn, you still had a better experience than me meeting the Undertaker and telling him I
Right.
love him 3 times like a moron.
That's why I know we talked about it because you told me that story after that. I think
No,
we talked about it on one of these.
it was after you told me the Pete Rose, the Pete Rose story.
Yes. After that asshole.
Oh my god, bro!
Yeah.
I laugh. It's got to be at least once a week, if not more. I think that story to myself, and I giggle at the most random times.
It's so funny.
What an ungracious bag. That sucks, dude.
Funny. Yeah. So we got some chats here.
Oh yeah, let's see. What's up, folks?
Michael Patricio Barrera. I have a recording on VHS of Beaver cleavage match and promo. So do I have it right here. Man, that was rough. Headbangers are the reason I own a kilt. That's great. Hold on, let me show it. That's great you own a kilt, but I wear a skirt.
Yeah, real men wear skirts.
Real men wear skirts. But listen, kilt's kilt. Listen, it's all good.
Kilts are still awesome.
They are.
But there is a difference.
Yeah, Glenn actually a couple of times went and bought kilts because it made himself feel better. But listen, whatever works for him.
How is Glenn?
Hold on. Did you ask Thrasher about him teaming up with Rugged Rock? No, why would I ask him that? I knew nothing about that.
I was gonna say.
I don't know. That's it. I mean, there's other ones, but those are basically only questions.
Hey, I was thinking we should promote a Ask Chaz Anything episode of one of these. I'll make up a graphic. Hey, Dubby.
Sponsored by Dubby?
Yeah. Ask Chaz Anything. He's got the water thermos too.
Well, I got Dubby in here. I got shit to do when we get done here, so I'm like, I need to have some energy.
Is it you got the creamsicle one in there?
That's it right there.
So good.
Calio cream. Yes.
Is that sugar free?
It is. It contains coffee fruit extract. It is. Let me see. It's got whole coffee in it. It's powdered, refreshes, blah blah blah. Caffeine. It contains 0 maltodextrin, 0 fillers, 0 artificial colors and dyes, no proprietary blends, no jitters, no crash.
Hey.
Let's see if the sugar thing. I don't know.
Frank had me take some pre-workout one time before a match, and I was already 4 energy drinks in. Chaz,
trying to have a heart attack?
Chaz, I could feel my heartbeat in my temples the entire time we were in the ring. Like I could see sounds.
Yeah, it's like you can totally feel that. Like that's craziness.
Yeah, and at one point we're in the ring and Frank hears me call suicide dive. Never done one before. Never practiced one before. Frank sees me shit can the guy, hit the opposite ropes and stand. It was like almost like we planned it as a spot. What are you, stupid? And I was like, I'm jazzed. I'm ready to go. Let's go, Frank.
How hard was that crash?
Oh, dude. And it was day 2 of like a 5-day loop we did from like here to Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, Georgia, and back. And right. I was miserable the day after.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, we should advertise and ask Chaz Anything a week in advance and let people submit their questions.
Yeah. Well, we can 100% do that.
Because we've never done it. It's always just been me asking questions. So
let me ask you a question. Because I don't know if I think I told you I did this one time. Being that you do trivia shows.
Yeah.
People actually this happened twice. But the second time I didn't know it was happening. So I'll tell you about that in a second. When people yell out answers, especially if they're not participating in the game. How's that make you feel?
It legitimately makes me want to hit a baby with a flashlight. Dude, especially because I give the rules every round. Hey guys, no shouting of answers, no cell phones. And my favorite happens all the time, bro, at my Thursday and Friday game. people that come walking in, they see a room full. That's where the last time you came to my trivia show was there at the Copper Rocket, and you see how busy it gets.
Yeah.
These people just walk in and they hear a question and they shout it out, and then I immediately put the brakes.
So
Like, hey,
I think I shared this with you. We were pre-gaming at a bar before kickball, and they were doing trivia. And we had 3 tables. There was like 10 of us. So we were all we were playing. But then it was like, all right, it was time to leave. I'm like, all right, I'm heading out. As I'm like halfway down the aisle and I'm almost to the door, the trivia lady goes, so Michael Jordan, how many championships did he win? And literally I hold up my fingers like this. And I'm like, 6. And I just kept right on walking out the door, not even thinking like that I was messing anything up. I just walked
Chaz.
when everyone got to kickball, they were like, dude, the heat you have, if you go back in there again, you're going to have so much heat with this lady. She was cussing you out left and right and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Dude,
so it was a couple of weeks ago, Tommy Fierro did the 90s WrestleCon up in Jersey. And they were young. They had the microphone and they were doing, it was a great turnout. So they were asking 90s wrestling trivia questions. So they were like, the Flying Nuns, what were their names? So I'm like, Mother Smucker, Sister Angelica. We're yelling out answers. And I'll never forget it. The guy that was sitting with, who was it? Was it Shamrock? The guy, it was either the guy, I think it was the guy at Shamrock's table, came walking over to me and he goes, hey, because I had yelled out like 2 or 3 answers at that point, and they only asked like 4 questions. He goes, this is like a legit trivia thing. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, look. And I looked, there was like 50 people sitting on the floor. They all paid into this. So like the winner was going to, I had no idea, but I'm shouting out all these answers. So me being, okay, listen, I can joke around, I can be a ribber and whatever. But once I realized like these guys put $20 in a pop and they're all like competing for this money. I mean, you got 40, 50 people there for $20 a pop. That's a good pot of money to win. Well, you get asshole sitting next to me. If you'd like to guess who, he starts yelling out wrong answers. Like on purpose once he finds out it's a real trivia.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Oh, sometimes the people that shout the wrong answers out are almost just as bad as the people that shout the right answers out.
Yeah.
And when it happens after people have been sitting there the whole night and they start doing it, hey, fucko. I remember my first beer too. First time in public. Yeah.
See, at least mine at the 90s wrestling con, I didn't realize there was an actual. I thought they were just doing random questions. I didn't realize they were doing a real trivia contest, or I wouldn't have done it. Because you and I spoke about it before. I told you the Michael Jordan story. When
yes. Yeah. It makes the hair on my arms stand up because I've had someone do it as they're leaving the bar. They just shout it out, and then I'm out of here. Good luck with your hopes and dreams.
It's like 6, and I go, fuck yourself.
The only thing left is for you to grab a beer off someone else's table and chug it and then throw it back at them.
Throw it down.
Oh, man.
Hell. All right. I have one last thing to ask you.
Yeah.
And I'm confused by this. Threads.
Oh, God.
I don't understand, and if anyone out there is listening understands it. So I have Threads, which I know is tied to my Instagram.
Okay, so you do have a Threads account.
I do.
Okay.
So like when I post to Instagram, it'll, I have the option to post it directly to Facebook and Threads also. But what I don't understand is like when I go on there and I'm scrolling it right now for the purpose of this, like these girls are writing these things on here and they're like, there's this person. Though nobody can go back and make a new beginning, anyone can start over and make a new ending. Okay, that I get. But here, had a couple of days to think about it. It feels the same. This is 48. Give me a heart. Like, where's one of the other stupid ones? Of course, I'm not going to be able to find the stupid ones now. Yeah, now I can't find the stupid ones. But there's like girls on there like if you're from Florida and want to hang out, send me a heart. I'm like, it's basically the same thing as Instagram. Like, I just don't see what the difference is or what the big deal is.
I don't get it, pal. I don't. And then the whole social media look at me, and then I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, like here's one. Still single, and she's wearing like a sports bra and panties. Still single. Does anybody want to date you? Like, yeah, and then there's like 4,500 hearts and 400. Yeah, all the comments are probably like, yeah, like show us more of you. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it.
But that's for all the social media simps that think that this chick is actually referring to them. She's probably making some kind of monetization off engagement.
And the other part of it is, I heard this the other day, is there's people out there now doing like, I guess, stuff like that with AI and making money. It's like some creepy old guy in his basement putting stuff on there, and he's making tons of money doing it. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I want to know how to do that. Like, I want to create this girl with the perfect figure, with the perfect big peach ass, with her boobies up to here, parading around in panties and bra, and have people click it, and then I make money off of it. That's what I want to do. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, we're definitely in the wrong business.
Yeah, I know. Physically abuse myself.
Yeah.
Oh hell.
You don't have any matches coming up, right?
Oh yes. Next Saturday, June 7th, we're in Youngstown, Ohio. That is for, I think I got it right here. Got it somewhere.
I got Riverview and Brooksville this Friday and Saturday for Marrow Pro Wrestling and Brawl USA. And then next weekend, June 7th and 8th, I'm at River City Wrestling Con. Dude, have I told you everything that I am doing at that convention, Chaz?
No.
So get this, pal, because this is...
Tell me.
I'm hosting trivia every hour on the hour from 10 a.m. till 5. I'm hosting the video game contest, the costume contest, Q&A sessions I'm hosting, and I helped with the wrestling portion. I'm managing on it. Literally going to be everywhere in St. Augustine.
You know what you need?
You there.
You need
What a great plug.
You need Dubby to get through all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I've done all of it before except the Q&A sessions. This year they added, like, I have a Q&A panel with Conan, with the Hurt Syndicate, first time ever that they're reunited since WWE, a bunch of stuff. But like, yeah, dude,
that'll be fun.
I wish you were there. You could be my co-host.
Well, if I wasn't in Youngstown, Ohio for the absolute intense wrestling, the most intense wrestling in the United States, Bang Your Head.
Oh, shoot. Tell Glenn I said hi.
That's where I'll be.
Tell him I said he's a kayfaber and that I said hi.
He's special.
Yeah.
I texted him yesterday because there's a new thing called Podstars. Podstars. It's actually kind of brilliant. This guy started it. It's like Cameo. Like, people can go to Cameo and book, to do videos and stuff like that. But this guy, you can go through Podstars to book to do podcasts.
Oh.
You've got a list of, and you come up with the pricing, and he advertises you, and you go right to the site, and right through the site, you can put in the times you're available, not available, the days you'll do and the days you won't. And you go in there, and I've already done a couple of them, and they pay right, like you get paid, you put your pricing in there, and they pay directly through there, and then they keep Podstars keeps a percentage of it, and then boom, when you're done, like within an hour after the first one I did, I got paid for doing it. So I said to Glenn, so somebody asked about, having both of us on, and the guy that runs it said to me, he goes, is Glenn doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. So I sent Glenn a text. I'm like, are you doing the Podstars thing? And he goes, what's that? And I went, never mind.
No.
And then he sends me a text this morning. He goes, oh, I Googled the Podstars things. Yes, I want to do it. Okay, so go sign up. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
As you said, he's special.
I love Glenn to death, but he's he's special.
Me too, man. I wanna see I wanna see both you guys. I feel like this is COVID all over again. I haven't seen you in person since that high school show where I got beat up by the coach.
Oh yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Are
my
you
that's
coming
my
down? Are you
What's
coming
that?
down? Are you coming down for the kids show for Larry?
This is news to me.
Oh, then no. Well, he's doing the kids show he does at the camp. You've been down for that.
I have.
Yeah. So I ran into Yale, who runs the camp, and said, how come you don't ever book us on anymore? He goes, that's what Larry does. So he reached out to Larry, and Larry was like, so I heard you want to do it. I go, I always want to do it. It's such an easy, fun show.
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes from the house. It's all kids. It's just a good time. So
Hell, I want to do it.
I think it's July 3rd.
I'm gonna message Larry.
It's in the afternoon. It's like 1 o'clock or something.
Hell yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I've put over his coach twice now.
And then we could sit right there on the couch and we could do this live together.
Dude, that would be so. Yes. So here's the mission. I'm gonna message Larry, and you should message Larry and be like, "Hey, Sez is down. Hell, you can beat me up."
Bill, I appreciate it. I think it's pretty cool too. There's a lot more coming with that.
Bill, post the yearbook pictures.
No.
I want to see them.
If you want to see, listen, I can show you one. You want to see one?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think I was like 19 in this picture. Where is it? Here it is. I'm dying already.
That's you?
That's me. Look at those big ears. How could it not be me?
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
What? Wow. If you told me that was a fine Hispanic young man, I would absolutely believe you.
This may be my most favorite picture of all time, though.
Oh. How old is he there?
He was probably 5-ish, 4 or 5.
Golly, dude.
Yeah, 4 or 5. But
hey, I know we gotta hop off, but real quick, does Ty remember any part of you being with the Fed?
No, he wasn't born.
At all.
No, he wasn't born. He was born in 04.
Damn, why did I think he was around for the tail end of it? Oh no, it's because of the 2016 SmackDown thing.
2016, yeah. 2016 is the best.
Yeah.
That video I have of him is the
hell yeah.
Is the best. Yeah, 100%. That is like the highlight for me. That could be like in the back of the book I listed I think like 10 like highlights for me, and I just did it in chronological order. Like my first match against Adam Bomb, my second match against Papa Shango, which actually ended up being my first match on TV, so that was listed. And then, obviously winning Larry Sharp's WWA Tag Team belts.
Yeah.
That was my first title. And then, the Ground Zero, WrestleMania 13, all that stuff. And I list that moment of being able to go back and watching. It's not even going back. It's being able to watch him watch me.
Yeah.
During the match. So that was probably the coolest thing.
Is that do you think that made it okay if they never bring you guys back for on-air stuff?
No, you won't, Bill. No more looking for stuff.
Bill, send me a friend request privately. We'll talk. All right, Chazer, I gotta fly. I love you.
Right, me too. I got shiznit to do.
Talk to Larry. I'm sure we'll text in the next couple of days, but until next time, we'll have our conversations live with Mosh and Sez next week.
Brought to you by Dubby.
Sponsored by Dubby.
All right. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for chiming in. And make sure you check out chazmosh.com.
Check it out.
Peace out.
See you, bud.